morning. I'm Nicholas Ponset. I'm the founder and CEO of Aleron. And for those who don't know Aleron, we are a social impact consulting firm, and we work with organizations to help to increase their impact and efficiency. And most of what we do is consulting, but we really enjoy also bringing people together to exchange ideas and to learn. And that's why we're here tonight, to discuss good philanthropy. And it is with a great pleasure that I welcome Dame Stephanie, who is going to share with us some of her philanthropic stories.
I want to introduce my friend, colleague, and supporter, Dame Stephanie Shirley, who I've known for almost 20 years. Could you tell us how you got here?
I arrived in this country in 1939 as an unaccompanied refugee. And that was with the Kindertransport, which Jewish and Christian activists had set up, funded by the Quakers when it ran out of money, administered by lots and lots of volunteers, that really saved our lives from Nazi Europe. And although that is 75 years ago, it's made an enormous impact on me and really underwrites my character and what I'm doing as a philanthropist. I wanted to make mine a life that was worth saving. You have this survivor guilt. Why should I survive? 1 million children died. And the sheer responsibility of that survivor guilt has been behind some of my philanthropy. And so I set up my own company. It was a crusade for women who were being ignored in the national workforce, women who were finding it difficult to get senior jobs, women who were losing their jobs on marriage or on pregnancy. And so my company, the very first minute in the annals of the company was the employment policy shall be jobs for women with children. But the need to think about the company's future. What does somebody like me do with a company long term? And I didn't have family that you could make it into a family company. And so I decided to basically give it away to the staff. So I managed to get a quarter of the company into the hands of the staff at no cost to anyone but me.
Oh, okay, so then that idea of giving, because that doesn't happen, where you give the stock away at your cost, not the people you're giving it to. That was in essence a beginning of major giving back in a way.
In a way, it's one of the major gifts that I've given,
Yeah.
because that was a valuable company. It became extremely valuable. When you set up a foundation, it must be listed somewhere, because there's a flood of people asking you for money. And you pick this, that looks good, and you fund that, and that looks good. And then you realize that I'm not really getting very much out of this, and I would do much more, have more impact if I thought more about to whom I gave money. And so one evening I sort of sat down and sort of said, really our policy should be, what are the things I'm interested in? Innovation. All our projects are innovative, never more of the same, no matter how worthy. And they are strategic, things that if they are successful, and foundations take quite a lot of risk, much more than you do in business, but if they are successful, make a real impact on the beneficiaries. And significant in monetary terms, because I have given away serious money, because I didn't want to give it away £50 here and £100 there.
We're going to open it up. We're going to let it open to you guys.
How much of your energy went in breaking the glass ceiling versus showing you could make it work?
Yeah. You know, it's not always easy to be that tycoon type person when you're also a woman. And I try in my life, as I think Roberta knows, not to let myself be chopped up into the mother, the career woman, the wife. I'm just a whole person. and I enjoy the whole of my life, and I want to keep it that way.
I'm very interested in this business about priorities, and I'm 73 now. I've, if you like, in a very tiny way made my money. I nearly didn't come tonight. I've got a husband who's 79, he's older than me. He said, "What are you doing tonight, sweetheart? Are we going to have a bit of pasta and a bit of..." I said, "I'm just going to get on the train from North London down here because I want to hear what Dame Shirley Steve has to say." I'm glad I came, but really I'm saying, give us a clue. How do you make those priorities? Because we're always saying, what do we do? Have you got any advice?
You never know. I like that.
I think one does never know what life holds for you. Something may happen tonight. I might get a phone call, say something's wrong with my husband. He's 92. I'm 81.
82. Well, you're going to be 82.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I've learned to sort of pick myself up, punch myself down, and start again. Sometimes doing new things. People forget all the failures that I've had because I move on and have other successes that people remember and that I grow and can transfer into professional management. It is a character thing. I think that positive approach, I mean, people think I'm an extrovert, and actually I'm not. I'm a very quiet, shy person that have learnt to actually project and do things that I need to do. Nice question, thank you.
Go ahead.
Do you ever feel that you've given back enough, or are you still driven by that?
I'm as driven today as I was 75 years ago. I have so much still to give, and I shall give it. I get given as much as I give because, I mean, quite honestly, the more money I give away, the richer my life seems to become. And some philanthropists are like that. We're not after position or glory.
In your role as UK Ambassador for Philanthropy, what are your thoughts on how we create a culture of philanthropy in this country?
In 2009, I was humbled to be invited by Prime Minister Gordon Brown to serve as the National Ambassador for Philanthropy. And it was a very difficult task. How can one change? I mean, some of it is a British culture. We don't talk about money and what we do with it. And that impacts the way in which people give. So I talk about the pleasure that I get from giving because that encourages other people to give. Some people think of giving as a duty rather than a pleasure. And my theme always was, giving is a pleasure. Why not do it? It's not a duty. Christians have this idea of tithing, a tenth of your income. We can always manage a tenth of something with whatever we're doing now. Muslims and Jewish people think of giving as a duty. They may not enjoy it, but it's a duty. If you're a good Muslim, you give. And some people think of it as almost like an insurance. I mean, the first charity I ever served as a trustee on was Help the Aged, which is now Age UK. And people laughed at me. "Oh, you're making sure that the world is better for you when you get to that stage." But there's an element of self-service. We want the world, our world, to be better. It's much more difficult to give to people that are not like us because we don't understand their motivations. And I work quite hard to make sure that when I give, I don't patronize. And I'm sure that's because I was so patronized as a child that I really realize how easy it is for people to patronize. So I try to give in a open way where I get as much as I give, and that keeps that balance right.
Good. Sir.
Your foundation, is it going to spend out? What's going to happen afterwards?
I'm so glad you asked that question because many people set up a major charity and have it as a dynasty. They spend only as the interest, presumably. But there's such a need in the world for money that as long as I can find good projects to support, I will spend the charity out. And the charity will be my beneficiary on my death. And so it has clear instructions to give that money away within 5 years of my death. And so it's not going to be a dynasty. I want all that money used as fast as possible if we can do it well. But everybody can be a philanthropist. It's not a question of how much wealth you have. If you can be strategic about what you're doing, you can get so much pleasure from it. Let me name drop. I met David Beckham recently. And he is an ambassador for UNICEF. And an ambassadorial role is quite different to a philanthropic role. He's just there to bring visibility to the organisation. So there are all sorts of opportunities, and I think it's fascinating that Japan is going along similar ways. There are other parts of the world that I'm sure are known to people here where it's going in a completely different direction. In this country, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and that discrepancy really should inspire philanthropists to give time, skills and energy.
Thank you very much, Dame Stephanie.